Good boy, come say that to my face again. What am I laughing at? I'm looking at the screen of Boss Lin's phone. The text messages that were supposed to be on my mom's phone are unexpectedly right here on this ice-cold CEO's phone. Lin Caro tapped the next voice message and played it out loud. Mom, if that old witch can actually find a man, I'll fucking go to her house and be her personal servant for 3 months. I'll wash her feet and massage her back without a single complaint. Hearing this, wash her feet and massage her back without a single complaint. Hearing this, I instantly broke out in a cold sweat. Holy crap, aren't these the messages I just sent to my mom? Boss Lin, if I said this was just a tiny misunderstanding. Boss Lin, if I said this was just a tiny misunderstanding, would you believe me? Boss Lin slowly walked up to me. Director Shu, since you want to serve me so badly, wouldn't I seem too unreasonable if I didn't give you the chance? My name is Shu Yan. I'm a project director at the company. Just a month ago, the ice-cold CEO, Lin Caro, scolded me like a dog during a meeting. The conference room was dead silent. My PPT was stuck on the last slide. The words awaiting your feedback now looked like a complete joke. Director Shu, is this what you called the blockbuster proposal that will shake up the market in the second half of the year? Her voice was soft, but it lashed across my face like a whip. What else could it be? Is the proposal I stayed up all night to write just scrap paper? My inner voice was screaming frantically, but I could only reply respectfully. Boss Lin, we conducted thorough market research and data analysis. Thorough? The data sources are unclear, the user personas are vague, and the execution budget is pure fantasy. She picked up the proposal and tossed it onto the table like it was something filthy. You call this thorough? I call it arrogant and unprofessional. Boss Lin, calm down. I'll revise it immediately. Before midnight, I want to see the new proposal. If you can't get it done, you and your team can pack your bags. Back at my desk, I received an email from Lin Caro. The subject was new proposal requirements. The body had only one sentence. I only want results. I was so furious I almost crushed my mouse. At 11 p.m., I dragged my exhausted body home. I didn't do anything, just threw myself onto the couch. I just wanted someone to vent to. I pulled out my phone and habitually opened my mom's WeChat. Then I froze. My mom's profile picture had changed from her Garfield cat named Fugi to a sparkling, incredibly tacky golden lotus flower. What kind of taste is this? Just as I was about to roast her, a notification from WeChat work popped up at the top of my screen. Your colleague Lin Caro has changed her profile picture. I tapped on it without thinking. An identical golden lotus profile picture popped up. My brain buzzed. I instantly short-circuited, but exhaustion and anger overpowered everything else. Who cares what profile picture she changed to? I just need to curse someone out today. I switched back to WeChat and started venting furiously at my mom's lotus flower. Mom, that old witch at the company is pissing me off. The reply came almost instantly. Good boy, what's wrong? Tell mom all about it. The familiar nickname, the familiar comfort. I instantly broke down. The grievances I had bottled up all day found an outlet like a flood. Who does she think she is to talk to me like that? What's wrong with my proposal? She's just targeting me. She's a heartless work machine. Her heart is a USB port designed solely for transferring KPIs. And that black dress she wore today, paired with her deadpan face, she looked like she was going to her ex-husband's funeral. The more I talked, the more fired up I got. I criticized Lin Caro from head to toe. After sending the last message, I felt completely relieved. After a good while, the reply finally came. Her taste really isn't that great. I was stunned. Since when did my mom speak so politely? Immediately after. So, do you want to resign? Yes, I'll quit tomorrow. Whoever wants to stay in this dump can stay. The other side went silent for even longer. Just when I thought my mom had fallen asleep, my phone buzzed. Don't be impulsive, son. Tomorrow, mom will teach you how to deal with her. The next day, sporting dark circles, carrying a half-finished proposal, and with a heart ready for execution, I arrived at the company. As soon as the elevator doors opened, I saw Lin Caro. I pretended not to see her and shrank into the corner to lower my presence. My phone buzzed. It was a message from mom. Strategy 1. Cater to her preferences. Go to that shop in the south of the city and buy a pour-over Yirgachef. No sugar, no milk. How did my mom know Lin Caro's taste? And so precisely too? I replied, your network is that wide. You even managed to find this out. To deal with her, you have to know her better than she knows herself, although it felt weird. I decided to treat a dead horse as a living one. I immediately slipped out of the company, took a cab to the south of the city, and waited in line for half an hour. I finally bought that legendary cup of coffee. Back at the company, I took a deep breath and pushed open the door to Lin Caro's office. She was buried in documents. Without looking up, she asked, "Where's the proposal?" "Ah, Boss Lin. I saw you working late last night too. You've worked hard. Have this to refresh yourself, to maintain my aloof persona." I put down the coffee and turned to leave. There was a slight noise behind me, like the sound of flipping pages pausing for a moment. I didn't dare look back. Back at my seat, I waited anxiously for 10 minutes, then 20 minutes. No emails. No phone calls. No notice telling me to pack my bags. Did it actually work? That night, I gave my mom a detailed report of the day's events. "Mom, you're amazing. That old witch didn't give me any trouble all day." I wanted to keep complaining, but she made another idiotic request today. She wants us to finish all the competitor data analysis within a week. Does she think I'm Superman? Sigh. Mom replied very quickly. Strategy 2. Show weakness to the enemy. Go straight to her. Tell her you lack the ability and that this task is too difficult. But say you are extremely willing to go all out to meet her. Expectations. Ask her what support you need to get it done. I stared at my phone screen, full of question marks. Go to her and admit my incompetence. Isn't that asking for death? What about my image? Mom, I don't think this will work. She'll think I'm just bargaining with her. Sigh. Listen to me. People like her hate it most when others make excuses. But she doesn't hate people who are honest about their difficulties for the sake of the goal. I was half skeptical, but my admiration for my mom had already taken the upper hand. I gritted my teeth and knocked on Lynn Caro's office door again. She slowly looked up. What is it? I brewed my emotions for a moment and spoke in an almost tragic tone. Boss Lynn, regarding the competitor analysis task you assigned today. I feel that with our team's current manpower and resources, it will be very difficult to complete it within a week. Lynn Caro's brows immediately furrowed. My heart tightened, and I quickly followed up with what Mom taught me. But I sincerely hope to meet your expectations. So I'd like to ask for your permission. If I make a military pledge, that it must be completed within a week, could you give me some extra support? For example, temporarily transferring 2 analysts from the data department and granting maximum access to the back-end data. I finished in one breath and looked at her nervously, ready to face a storm. Lynn Caro looked at me in silence for a full minute. Just as I was about to suffocate, she spoke. Fine. I was shocked. The people from the data department will report to your department tomorrow. Send me the access request tonight. I practically floated out of her office. When I got home, I excitedly texted my mom. Mom, you're an absolute god. She actually agreed. Ha ha ha. Did you plant a spy in our company? Know yourself and know your enemy, and you will never be defeated. A line of text came back, carrying the calm confidence of a master strategist. In the days that followed, under my mom's various bizarre strategies, my career underwent an earth-shattering transformation. Strategy 3. Hear the thunder in the silence. In the elevator, pretend to casually compliment her earrings and say the design is very unique. I did as told. Lynn Caro didn't show much expression at the time, but I noticed she wore the same pair again the next day. Strategy 4. Providing help in times of need is better than adding icing on the cake. She has a habit of pinching the bridge of her nose before she gets angry. Next time you see it, proactively hand her a bottle of warm water and stomach medicine. I bit the bullet and did it. Lynn Caro looked at the stomach medicine I handed her with a weird expression, but she still accepted it. During the meeting that day, she didn't lose her temper even once. I felt like getting on my knees for my mom. This wasn't just my biological mother, this was a living bodhisattva of the workplace. My projects progressed more and more smoothly. Lynn Caro's attitude towards me also visibly softened. I even started to feel that this old witch wasn't so hideous after all. I completely became my mom's blind worshiper. My contact with mom became more frequent, and I unconsciously started sharing my life with her. Oh mom, the stray cat downstairs gave birth to 5 kittens today. So cute, pay attention to hygiene, don't touch them carelessly. That goofy drama I've been watching lately is hilarious. The male lead is as stupid as I am. The stuff you watch has no nutritional value. Her replies were always brief, with a domineering CEO-style critique. But I didn't mind at all. I actually thought it was pretty cool. One day, the project reached a critical stage. I led the team through several consecutive all-nighters. We stayed at the company for over 16 hours a day, relying entirely on takeout for all 3 meals. Sitting so much gave me a terrible backache. And then, an unspeakable tragedy occurred. My hemorrhoids flared up, and they came on fiercely. Unstoppable. That kind of restlessness, like sitting on pins and needles, the agony of feeling like my butt had been consecrated. Only those who have experienced it would understand. I was in so much pain I broke out in a cold sweat I could barely maintain my refined scum, domineering CEO image anymore. Returning home in the middle of the night, I tossed and turned in bed from the pain, unable to sleep. In despair, I picked up my phone again, tapped on that Lotus profile picture, and sent a message. With a crying tone, I'm dying. My butt feels like it's on fire. I can't sit, I can't stand. After the message was sent, I felt ashamed and helpless. On the other side, Lynn Caro had just finished a cross-ocean video conference and was rubbing her tired brow. Her phone screen lit up. She saw this message. The sip of water she had just taken into her mouth was sprayed all over the laptop in front of her. She stared at that line of text in silence for a full 3 minutes. The screen seemed to still carry that aura of sheer despair. With great difficulty, she typed out a line. Use some Maying Long. Drink more water and get some rest. Receiving this reply, I was instantly deeply moved. Only my real mom truly cares about me. She even knows what medicine to use. Okay, mom. I love you. The next day at work, I felt like a cripple. My walking posture was extremely bizarre, and every step was taken with extreme caution. During the meeting, I secretly stuffed the soft cushion I brought from home onto my chair. It was a cartoon bear-shaped donut cushion. It sharply contrasted with my crisp suit, creating a tragic juxtaposition. The meeting was hosted by Lynn Caro. As usual, she assigned tasks with a steady pace and clear logic. I sat below, feeling like I was on pins and needles. I could only rely on adjusting my sitting posture to relieve the pain. I felt like Lin Caru's gaze drifted toward me faintly several times. Her expression didn't change, but her eyes, how should I put it, were very weird. My heart skipped a beat. Did she notice? Impossible. My acting is flawless. I'm sitting so properly. As soon as the meeting ended, I was the first to rush out of the conference room. Just as I got back to my seat, Lin Caro's secretary, Lily, walked over. She was holding a cup of warm honey water in one hand, and in the other, she held a brand new, high-end memory foam donut cushion. Director Sue. Lily tried hard to keep her expression professional, but she could barely suppress the corners of her mouth. Boss Lin said you've been working hard on the project lately. This is a care package for you. She placed the honey, water, and the cushion on my desk. Boss Lin also said you should take care of your health and balance work with rest. I held that soft-to-the-touch seat cushion, completely dumbfounded. Dozens of pairs of eyes in the entire office stared at me in unison. Their eyes were filled with uncontrollable amusement. My domineering CEO persona, shattered like dumpling, filling in this very moment. Why did this old witch suddenly change her tune? She even gifted me a cushion. Could it be that my mom's strategy actually worked? Has she been completely conquered by my hidden charisma? I fell into deep thought. Is this what it feels like to be highly valued? Just as I was floating on air, thinking I was about to reach the pinnacle of my career, marry a rich beauty, no, wait, gain the CEO's appreciation. A crisis quietly arrived. The company's core project, Project Super God, had reached the most critical data integration stage. I had always been competing for this project with Zhao Rui, the director of another department. Zhao Rui was a typical smiling tiger, ambitious and best at stabbing people in the back. Lately, I had been riding high, and naturally, he saw it and was burning with anxiety. That afternoon, I had just encrypted the compiled core data and uploaded it to the internal server, ready for the meeting the next day. That night, I treated the team to a big feast to celebrate the project's impending success. Early the next morning, as soon as I arrived at the company, I noticed the atmosphere was off. Everyone was looking at me with complicated expressions. My direct subordinate, Little Jiang, rushed over, his face pale. Brother Yan, this is bad. Something happened. Zhao Rui beat us to it and presented the Project Super God proposal to the higher-ups. My brain buzzed. What do you mean? Where did he get a proposal? His proposal has the exact same core logic as our final version. He just tweaked a few details. It looks like a simplified version he completed independently. I rushed into the conference room. Sure enough, Zhao Rui was standing in front of the projector, spiritedly presenting his PPT. And the core architecture of that PPT was clearly what I had stayed up countless nights to create. Lin Caro sat below, her face icy cold. The other higher-ups were whispering to each other, and looking at me with eyes full of suspicion. Shu Yan, you're here. Perfect. You can listen to my ideas too. Let's exchange some thoughts. I was trembling with anger. Zhao Rui, this is plagiarism. Director Shu, you can't just say things like that. My team pulled an all-nighter to rush this proposal out last night. Everyone can testify to that. On the contrary, why is your proposal so identical to mine? Could it be that you... He didn't finish his sentence, but his meaning was obvious. He was biting back at me. Just then, Lin Caro's phone rang. Data security is the company's red line. The tech department did a self-check. There was an abnormal access record on the server at 10 p.m. last night. The core data packet for SuperGod was copied. The access IP was from inside the company. Su Yan, you are the only one with maximum access to this data packet. She looked at me, her eyes devoid of any warmth. All fingers instantly pointed at me. Either it was an inside job, and I sold the data to Zhao Rui, or my incompetence led to a data leak. Either one was enough to get me fired immediately, or even sued. I couldn't defend myself. I was suspended pending the results of the investigation. I walked out of the conference room in a daze, feeling like the sky had fallen. I hid in an empty stairwell, feeling true fear and helplessness for the first time. What did I do wrong? I worked so hard. Why did this happen? With trembling hands, I took out my phone and tapped on that Lotus profile picture. This time, I didn't even have the strength to type. I just sent a voice message. I'm done for. I've been framed. This time, I'm really getting fired. I incoherently explained what happened. I don't know what to do. By the end, I was sobbing uncontrollably. The other side was silent for a long time. So long that I thought Mom was scared by the severity of the situation too, and didn't know how to comfort me. Just when I was in complete despair, my phone buzzed. Don't panic. Stay steady. Go do this right now. First, go to the tech department and find Engineer Wang. Tell him you suspect your computer has a Trojan. Have him do a low-level data recovery and look for unauthorized operation logs. I remember you said you bought him drinks last time. Second, keep it quiet. Go pull the security footage from the hallway outside your office and the pantry around 10 p.m. last night. A guy like Zhao Rui likes to leave a back door, but he's also too smart for his own good. Third, check Zhao Rui's recent external email logs, especially emails sent to headhunting firms and competitor companies. Set the keyword to SuperGod data packet. The professionalism of these instructions completely exceeded the knowledge of an ordinary retired mother who stays home growing flowers. But I didn't have time to be suspicious. Engineer Wang from the tech department indeed found a Trojan disguised as an update package on my computer, and even traced the time it was implanted. In the security footage, Zhao Ru was acting suspiciously, making a phone call in the pantry. The time was exactly after the data was copied. The most crucial evidence came from the email system. Under Mom's remote command, I actually found a log in the back end of an encrypted email Zhao Rui sent to an external company. Although I couldn't see the content of the email, the send time and recipient were enough to form a complete chain of evidence. Holding this evidence, my hands were shaking. Tomorrow was the all-hands meeting, where the company would announce the disciplinary results. I was going to make a desperate counterattack. Thank you. Watch your son in action tomorrow. Thank you. Watch your son in action tomorrow. On the other side, Lin Caro looked at this line of text on her phone screen, then looked at the back-end logs and investigation reports secretly sent by the technical director synced on her computer. Her eyes turned icy cold. She switched back to WeChat. Go get him. Let them see that my son is not to be messed with. At the all-hands meeting the next day, all the higher-ups were present, and the seats below were filled with employees. This was no longer a simple case of plagiarism, but a major incident concerning the company's information security. Of course, for this proposal to take shape so quickly, we can't ignore Director Shu's team's preliminary market research. Zhao Rui was beaming with pride. He thought I was dead meat. Although their proposal ultimately didn't pass, it still provided us with valuable trial and error experience. He was making insinuations on stage. Some colleagues in the audience who didn't know the truth had already started whispering. Finally, it was my turn. Everyone's eyes focused on me. I walked onto the stage and didn't open any PPT. I plugged my USB drive into the computer. Before I share my failure experience, I'd like to show everyone something. This is a log recovered from my computer by the tech department. 3 days ago, a Trojan was implanted in my computer, which can, without my knowledge, remotely copy files. The whole room was in an uproar. Zhao Rui's face changed. I didn't stop, and proceeded to open the second file. This is the security footage from the company pantry at 10:08 p.m. on the night of the data leak. Director Zhao, it was so late. Who were you on the phone with? Chatting so happily? In the video, Zhao Rui's sneaky behavior was magnified. In front of everyone, his forehead started to sweat. What does this prove? I was just handling personal matters. Is that so? I smiled. Is that so? I smiled, and opened the final piece of evidence, a send log for an encrypted email. Then your way of handling personal matters is to send a file named SuperGod Core Data Final Version to the company where your college classmate works, which happens to be our biggest competitor. The evidence was solid, the logic airtight. Zhao Rui's face instantly turned as pale as paper. He opened his mouth but couldn't say a word. The truth was out. The whole room was dead silent, followed by uncontrollable murmurs. I stood on stage, looking at Zhao Rui's devastated state, feeling the heavy stone on my chest finally lifted. Just then, a vice president of the company stepped out to smooth things over. This Zhao Rui just had a moment of confusion. He is a veteran employee of the company after all. How about he wanted to smooth things over? Just as my heart tightened, Lin Caro stood up. She had been sitting there in silence all along. At this moment, as soon as she spoke, she drew everyone's attention. Our company does not harbor thieves. Her voice wasn't loud, but it carried immense weight. She looked at me and added, and we certainly won't let those who work hard suffer injustice. Zhao Ru was suspended on the spot and handed over to the legal department. After the meeting, I felt like I had won a massive victory. My colleagues' looks changed from pity to admiration. I walked off the stage. Lin Caro happened to walk past me. She stopped. Good job. In her eyes, for the first time, there was undisguised approval. Fireworks seemed to explode in my heart. When I got home that night, the first thing I did was share the good news with Mom. I described the situation at today's meeting, with extra embellishments. Mom, you should have seen it. Lin Caro was so badass today. Our company does not harbor thieves. She was absolutely dominating. Haha. See, she's not that unreasonable. I looked at this message. A strange feeling suddenly arose in my heart. It seemed Lin Caro really wasn't that annoying anymore. She was even a bit cool. No. That's absolutely impossible. Wake up. I quickly shook my head, driving this terrifying thought out of my mind. She's the old witch. The project was a huge success, and the company decided to hold a grand celebration banquet. As the biggest contributor to the project, I was naturally the center of attention. Wearing a carefully selected suit, I mingled in the crowd with a wine glass in hand. Enjoying the compliments and praise from my colleagues, I felt like the king of the workplace, having reached the peak of my life. The banquet was brightly lit, with glasses clinking everywhere. Lin Caro also attended as the CEO. She had swapped her usual business suit for a dark blue velvet gown. Her long hair was pinned up. She looked completely different from her usual ice-cold self. Holding my glass, I hesitated whether I should go over. Just then, Lin Caro actually took the initiative to walk toward me. Director Shu, you did a great job on this project. It's all thanks to your excellent leadership, Boss Lin. I was flattered and quickly raised my glass. I forced myself to stay calm, but the little guy in my heart was already jumping up and down. We gently clinked glasses, and she took a small sip. I heard you really like watching goofy dramas. I almost spat out my wine. No, I usually watch financial news. I denied it to the death. The corner of her mouth curled into a meaningful smile. She didn't say anything else and turned to walk elsewhere. Watching her back, I felt a chill run down my spine. Just then, my phone rang. I took it out and saw it was my real mom calling. Son, Mom is in your city. I'll go to your company to see you tomorrow and give you a surprise. Ah, what? Mom, why are you here so suddenly? You didn't even tell me in advance. Oh, it wouldn't be a surprise if I told you. It's settled then. See you tomorrow. The call ended. I held my glass, feeling uneasy. My mom is coming to the company? What should I do? I habitually took out my phone, tapped on that familiar Lotus profile picture. You're coming to the company? That's so sudden. Lin Karu, who was socializing in another corner of the banquet, felt her phone buzz. She discreetly glanced at the message. Then her gaze swept over to me, looking conflicted not far away. She replied, "Oh? Is that so? Then I'll have to prepare well." I looked at the reply and didn't think much of it, assuming my mom was joking. I remembered Lin Caro's meaningful smile just now and couldn't help but send another message to Mom. By the way, Mom, that trick you taught me last time, using your eyes to acknowledge the other person's efforts. I think I used it on Lin Caro today. She seemed to really appreciate it. I was completely unaware that I was reporting my strategies for wooing the person in question directly to the person in question. At this moment, another WeChat message popped up. It was my real mom. Son, I changed my WeChat profile picture. Look, isn't my little kitty cute? That Lotus from before was too old-fashioned. Your aunts were all laughing at me. I had had a little to drink and my brain was a bit fuzzy. I opened my mom's chat box, and sure enough, her profile picture had changed to a cute Garfield cat. I casually replied cute and then switched away. I completely failed to realize that the Lotus profile picture hadn't changed. The one who changed her profile picture was my actual mom. What did this mean? I was still immersed in my own world, enthusiastically continuing to discuss with Lotus Mom. Mom, where do you think I should take you to play tomorrow? Don't worry, I'll take you out tomorrow. I looked at this message, my heart feeling warm. My mom is so great. Not only is she coming to see me, she's even taking me out to play. I had absolutely no idea that an epic storm of social death was quietly brewing. At 10 a.m. the next day, my mom appeared downstairs at the company right on time. She insisted on touring our company. I led her around the first floor lobby, my heart pounding, constantly praying, please don't let us run into Lin Karu. Speak of the devil. Just as we reached the elevator, the doors opened with a ding. Lin Karu and her secretary walked out. My scalp instantly went numb. What a small world. Good morning, Boss Lin. Mom, this is our company CEO, Boss Lin. Boss Lin, this is my mom. Hello, Boss Lin. Thank you for taking care of our Shu Yan. If this kid ever does anything wrong, please bear with him. Ha ha ha, Auntie, you're too polite. Shu Yan and I have a great relationship. We chat almost every day. Lin Karo shook my mom's hand, wearing a smile I had never seen before. This brat barely talks to me when he comes home. My heart skipped a beat. I felt cold, sweat breaking out on my back. Something's wrong. Very wrong. Yes, he even told me yesterday that you were coming today. Lin Karo continued to smile and dropped a massive bombshell. My mom looked at me in confusion. I only told him I was coming yesterday. How did he tell you? Son, what did you say to Boss Lin? I'm done for. My brain was spinning at high speed in that moment, trying to find a reasonable explanation. Just then, my mom's phone rang. She took it out and looked. On the screen was her newly changed profile picture, the Garfield cat named Fugi. She smiled and said to Lin Karo, look, my new profile picture. The little kitty is cute, right? Much better than that old-fashioned Lotus from before, right? The word Lotus was like a clap of thunder, exploding in my ears. My gaze uncontrollably moved inch by inch from the cat on my mom's phone screen to Lin Karo's face. Lin Karo was holding up her phone. The screen lit up. On the screen was that incredibly familiar, magnificent white Lotus. I poured my heart out to every night, and below the Lotus profile picture was my chat interface with her. At the very top was my contact name, Hardworking Little Shu. My world stood still. Then, right in front of me and my mom, Lin Karo elegantly tapped her phone screen to my WeChat, which was staring at the Lotus profile picture. She sent a voice message. Good boy, come say that to my face again. What do I look like? I'm dead. My vision went black. The next second, I unleashed the greatest acting performance of my life. My body went limp, and I fell straight backward. Director Shu. Amidst a chorus of gasps, I was carried into the company clinic by my flustered colleagues. My mom was terrified. I didn't dare look at Lin Karo's expression. After lying on the clinic bed for half an hour, I slowly woke up. Then, citing poor health, I stayed up all night writing a brilliantly worded, deeply sincere resignation letter. Before dawn the next day, I sneaked into the company and placed the resignation letter on Lin Karo's desk. Then I turned off my phone, uninstalled WeChat, and vanished from the face of the earth. I no longer had the face to stay on this planet. I just wanted to move to another planet, preferably one without WeChat and without female CEOs. I hid at home for 2 days, surviving on takeout, thinking this whole thing would just blow over. On the third day, my WeChat work suddenly rang. My hand trembled, and I almost threw my phone. It was Lin Karo. She rejected my resignation application. The reason? Core project handover incomplete. Unauthorized departure will be treated as absenteeism, requiring compensation for company losses. My vision went black again. Immediately after, she sent a new message. Her tone was as businesslike as usual, but the content scared the soul out of me. Director Shu, how effective was that hemorrhoid cream you mentioned last time? I have a friend who needs it. I stared at that line of text, my whole body turning cold, my hands and feet going numb. She was humiliating me. Naked humiliation. I threw my phone to the other end of the couch, deciding to play dead to the bitter end. As a result, the doorbell rang at noon the next day. I looked through the peephole. It was a girl from the company's admin department. I refused to open the door no matter what. Director Shu, this is a care package from the company. Boss Lin specifically ordered it. I had no choice but to open the door a crack. Then I saw the massive box by her feet. Printed on the box were 3 huge words. Maying Long. It was a whole box. The girl pushed the box in and handed me a bag. Inside was a top-tier donut cushion and a steaming cup of pour-over coffee. From that shop in the south of the city, there was also a card in the bag. On it was Lin Caro's familiar handwriting. Rest and recover well. Waiting for you to come back for the handover. I felt like a mouse caught by a cat, being toyed with repeatedly. Angry, scared, and ashamed, I couldn't just sit and wait for death anymore. I started frantically studying labor laws, trying to figure out how to legally resign. Even if the boss didn't agree, I screenshotted the relevant legal clauses and prepared to draft a lawyer's letter. Just then, Lin Caro sent another message, as if she knew exactly what I was doing. Article 246 of the Criminal Law of the People's Republic of China stipulates, whoever, by violence or other methods, publicly insults another person or fabricates facts to defame another person, if the circumstances are serious, shall be sentenced to fixed-term imprisonment of not more than 3 years, criminal detention, public surveillance, or deprivation of political rights. My lawyer's letter died in the womb before it was even written. I completely lost my mind. I stayed home, faking illness and playing dead for a week. This week was a living hell. Every day, I lived in the fear that Lin Caro would break down my door at any moment. On the night of the 7th day, the fear became reality. The doorbell rang. I looked out through the peephole, and my heart stopped. Standing outside the door was none other than Lin Caro. She was wearing casual clothes, lacking her usual aggressiveness, but standing there, her aura was still powerful. I refused to open the door. I was betting that a CEO like her wouldn't throw a tantrum at my doorstep. I lost the bet. Lin Caro leaned against the wall outside, unhurried and calm, took out her phone, and then, using her cold, pleasant voice, she started reading. Mom, that old witch criticized me again today. Does she think I'm made of iron? The blood rushed to my head. I'm telling you, those pants Lin Caro wore today made her legs look so short. Like a corgi, I rushed to the door and put my hand on the doorknob. Ah! My hemorrhoids seemed to have gotten worse. What should I do? Stop reading. Humiliated, I yanked the door open, finally willing to come out. With a dark face, I let her into the house. Finally willing to come out, with a dark face, I let her into the house. This was the most awkward moment of my life. We sat on the living room couch, looking at each other in silence. The air was so quiet, I could dig a 3-bedroom apartment out of the floor with my toes. Finally, Lin Caro spoke first. She took my resignation letter out of her bag and pushed it in front of me. Not approved. Boss Lin, what exactly do you want? Can you just leave me a way out? Lin Caro looked at me, the teasing gone from her eyes. Instead, she was very serious. I haven't held a single one of your complaints against you. For example, changing those old-fashioned curtains in my office. I thought it was a good idea, so I had them changed last week. And what you said about upgrading the coffee machine in the company pantry. I also had the admin department buy a new one. Shu Yan, putting those jokes aside, the things you sent to Mom. Your unique insights on the projects, your care and protection for your team members, and your thoughts on the company's development. I saw all of it. That is the real you, compared to the domineering CEO persona you force yourself to put on at the company every day. It's much cuter. My heart skipped a beat. I never thought that the emotions and thoughts I dumped out like trash would be treated so seriously by her. I always thought that all she saw was just a clown cursing her behind her back. So, come back to work. I opened my mouth, but still felt I had no face to do so. Haha, otherwise. I'll take that line where you said I looked like a widow attending her ex-husband's funeral. HMPH, pair it with music, make it into a PPT, and recite it on loop at the company's annual gala. You're ruthless. I looked at her, my heart filled with mixed feelings. Finally, I slumped back on the couch and compromised. I returned to work. On my first day back at the company, I felt like everyone in the company was looking at me like I was an endangered animal, especially the colleagues in my department. Their eyes were filled with deep sympathy saying, "Bro, are you okay? Bro, you're still alive?" My domineering CEO persona had completely collapsed. Lin Caro was just as strict with me as before. If the proposal was bad during a meeting, she still scolded me. If KPIs weren't met, she still deducted my pay. But some things were quietly changing. Once, during a weekly department meeting, I yawned several times in a row. After the meeting, Lin Caro stopped me. I thought she was going to criticize my poor work attitude again. "Director Shu, take care of your health. Stayed up late playing games again last night. Your mom is going to explode." I blushed. That was what I complained to her about the night before. getting stuck on a level in my new game. Another time, the weather turned cold, and I caught a slight cold, sniffing all day in the office. In the afternoon, her secretary Lily brought me a box of imported cold medicine and a cup of ginger tea. Work is important, but your health is more important. Your health is more important. Gradually, some strange rumors started spreading in the company. Did you hear? Director Shu seems to be Boss Lin's distant relative. No way, right? I heard Director Shu is Boss Lin's long-lost younger brother. You're all wrong. I'm actually her child groom. My mouth twitched as I listened, but I couldn't refute it. Between Lin Caro and me, a kind of tacit understanding and secret code had indeed formed that only the two of us understood. One time, that unlucky bastard, Zhao Rui, was released from the legal department, demoted, and transferred. He tried to trip me up on a project again. During a meeting, he sarcastically questioned my data, before I even had time to open my mouth to refute him. Lin Caro, sitting at the head of the table, shot a glance over. Supervisor Zhao, if you have no confidence in your professional abilities, you can hand over the project. The company does not harbor idlers, and certainly not fools. Zhao Rui instantly shut up, his face turning the color of pig liver. At that moment, I looked at Lin Caro, and my heart disappointingly skipped a beat. I realized the way I looked at her was getting more and more unusual. When she wasn't being an iceberg, she was actually very beautiful. She would secretly curl up the corners of her mouth, because she ate a delicious piece of dessert. She would also, when extremely exhausted, lean back in her chair and reveal a vulnerable side. Lean back in her chair and reveal a vulnerable side. She was no longer that lofty symbol, but a living, breathing person of flesh and blood. My heart was in turmoil. That night, I tapped on that Lotus profile picture again. I drafted for a long time, deleting and revising. Finally, I sent a message. Boss Lin, are you free after work? I'd like to treat you to dinner. This time, I didn't use mom anymore, but clearly typed the words Boss Lin. The reply came quickly. Sure, yes. I set the location for my confession. At a very high-end Riverview restaurant, I arrived early, checked the reserved flowers and seats, my palms sweating from nervousness. For today, I had practiced what I wanted to say in front of the mirror 800 times. From our first meeting, to her scolding me like a dog, to all the misunderstandings that followed, I had prepared a deeply emotional speech, confident that it would move her. At exactly 7 p.m., Lin Caro appeared on time. She was still wearing business attire, but had taken off her jacket, leaving only a simple white shirt. Looking at the large bouquet of roses in front of me, Director Shu, you shouldn't have. I got even more nervous. My tongue was practically tied in knots. The waiter started serving the dishes. I couldn't say a single word and could only bury my head and eat fiercely, trying to use food to cover up my embarrassment. Lin Caro didn't speak either, just quietly watched me. Her gaze made me feel like a monkey being scrutinized. No, this can't go on. I put down my knife and fork, took a deep breath, mustered all the courage in my life, and stood up. I looked at her. The lines I had rehearsed in my head 800 times instantly vanished without a trace. No, Boss Lin. I like you. After saying that, I wanted to die. Why did I have to stumble over my words at a time like this? The guests at the neighboring tables in the restaurant all cast curious glances at us. I was so ashamed I wanted to dive under the table immediately. Lin Caro was stunned at first. Then, unable to hold it in any longer, she burst out laughing. Ha 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 ha. She laughed so hard she was shaking, tears forming at the corners of her eyes. She didn't look like her usual iceberg self at all. This was the first time I had seen her laugh so heartily. Looking at her smiling eyes, I was actually a bit mesmerized. After laughing for a good while, Lin Caro finally stopped. She wiped the corners of her eyes with a napkin and looked at me, her eyes sparkling. Mom likes you too. My brain exploded with a boom. Completely short-circuited. What did she say? She proactively reached out her hand and held mine, which was resting on the table, and a bit cold from nervousness. But from now on, don't call me the wrong name when we're outside. Her hand was very warm. At that moment, the brilliant river view outside the window, and the melodious music in the restaurant all became background noise. In my world, there was only her smiling eyes in that sentence. I like you too. We officially got together. The next day, my mom sent me a WeChat message. She had switched back to that Lotus profile picture. Son, that Boss Lin I met at your company last time is really nice. She's pretty and capable. You have to seize the opportunity. I was just about to reply, when Lin Caro beside me finished washing up and walked out, wearing my white shirt. Drying her hair, she saw my phone screen, and leaned over. Then, she naturally took my phone, quickly typed a line of text, and hit send. After sending it, she even raised an eyebrow at me, looking like she had it all handled. My relationship with Lin Caro went public at the company at an unexpected speed. It started the next morning, when the two of us drove the same car and entered the company one after the other. Then, sharp-eyed colleagues noticed a suspicious red mark on Boss Lin's neck, and the tie Director Shu was wearing today was the exact same color palette as the dress Boss Lin wore yesterday. Gossip instantly spread throughout the entire company. When Zhao Rui heard the news in the pantry, he couldn't even hold his coffee cup steady. He was dumbfounded on the spot, and from then on, he took a detour whenever he saw me. My domineering CEO persona finally reached its ultimate form, the CEO's family member and company mascot. When my colleagues saw me now, their Their eyes carried an anti-like smile of having successfully shipped a couple. Lynn Caro at the company was still that absolute, ice-cold CEO. But when it was just the two of us, she always loved to tease me with my embarrassing moments. Humph. Good boy, you zoned out during the meeting again today. Were you thinking about that game you haven't beaten yet? Director Shu, your cushion needs washing. It's almost developing a patina. Every time, I was left speechless by her teasing, yet I gladly endured it. We lived a sweet life of mutually roasting each other. One night, we both rarely didn't have to work overtime. I was watching a movie on the couch. Lynn Caro had fallen asleep leaning on my shoulder. Looking at her peaceful sleeping face, my heart was filled with an immense sense of happiness. I took out my phone, wanting to send her a WeChat message full of love. I carefully drafted a very long, cheesy message. Baby, meeting you is the luckiest thing that has ever happened to me. I used to think you were a heartless work machine, but now I realize you are the warmest person in this world. I love you, Lynn Caro. I read it over several times, nodded in satisfaction, and prepared to send it. Just then, the sleeping Lynn Caro shifted, and her elbow accidentally bumped my phone. The message was sent. I had just breathed a sigh of relief and was about to put down my phone, when the next second, my phone started vibrating like crazy. On the screen, an incredibly familiar group chat was refreshing at a rate of 99 plus per second. Project Supergod Core Group 28. I looked at that group name, then looked at the paragraph I had just sent out, a passionate confession over 100 words long. I felt my blood freeze in an instant. I slipped and sent it to the company group chat. The group was silent for exactly 3 seconds, and then it completely exploded. Holy shit, what did I just see? Director Shu is a legend. What kind of god-tier confession is this? So Boss Lin is baby, and we are the work machines. I stared at my phone in horror, completely at a loss. I wanted to recall it, but the time limit for recalling had already passed. Just as I was about to throw my phone into the toilet, Lynn Caro beside me was woken up. She rubbed her eyes and asked groggily, "What's wrong?" She saw my phone. The spectacular scene of the screen being flooded with messages, and that eye-catching confession. She fell silent for a moment. Then, right in front of my utterly terrified expression, she slowly typed 2 words in the group chat and tagged me. Good boy. Received. Ah, my social death is endless. But this time, looking at the corners of her eyes, and her brows carrying a smile, I suddenly felt like it was actually pretty happy.